Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, my dear students. Have an excellent day. My name is Diana Carolina Ramirez Muñoz, and I'm going to be with you in this course, Electiva 1, Writing and Strategies. So, welcome to this course, my dear students. It is a pleasure for me to be here and to be in this course with you. So, this is our first session, okay? And okay, this is my email. If you have any questions or any suggestions, this is my email, diana.ramirezmu, important, mu, @secar.edu.com. Okay, so one more time, my name is Diana Carolina Ramirez, and welcome to this course. I hope to be with you in the other sessions. Remember, this first session is recorder of the last class, okay, of the last week. Well, my dear, so what is the purpose of this session? It is to contextualize you in the process and dynamics of the course, right? So the idea in this first section is that we could talk about the general aspects we are going to have in the course. We will talk about the guiding equation. It's important. The guiding equation is in the forum, okay, in the platform. So please go to the platform and answer this guiding equation. Give your comments related with this guiding equation in the platform, right? One. And next we are going to talk about the general information of this course and the unit number 1 activities that you are going to solve. Well, so important, take it into account. Why communicative English is important for students? So what do you think about this? Why this aspect is important for you, for example, that are in students in the degree, English degree. So what do you think about this? Take into account that communication is a process when we can understand the words, understand everything. So take into account these aspects. And about this, I invite you to participate in the forum. Okay, go to the platform in Teleclases, and there is the forum for this first section. Okay, and please get your comments in this part. Well, it's so important. Remember, all the classes or all the teleclasses we have in the platform and space of the teleclasses. And there are going to be the forum, there's going to be the forum, the slides or the presentation of each class, and the recorder. Okay, so it is so important that you go to the platform and take it into account. Well, good. Important, take it into account, the dates. This KBL2 is going from April 19th, so yesterday, and we are going to be working until the next June the 13th. Okay, so these are the days, or this is the schedule we have for this course. Okay, for the development of all the course. Well, here we can find the dates according to different units. We have 3 units in this course, right? Each unit is shown in the slide, and they are the dates. So it's important that you take into account the first unit goes from this week, April the 18th, until May the 9th. The second unit is from May 10th until 30, okay, May 30. And the third and last unit is going to be from May 31st until June 13. So it's important that you take into account these dates in order to know which are the units and which are the activities that you will present, okay? In this first session, or in this first part, the idea is that we could, or that I could show you the unit 1 activities, and today I'm going to focus on the activities from the first task, okay? Paréntesis in Spanish. Aquí lo que quiero que quede claro, chicos, es las fechas de las diferentes actividades, de las diferentes unidades temáticas. Tenemos 3 unidades temáticas en este curso y como lo ven en pantalla, cada una tiene sus fechas. Importante, por favor, en cada unidad también se encuentran unos foros. Entonces, cada clase vamos a estar allí participando en cada teleclase en la plataforma, en el espacio de teleclases, van a estar habilitados los foros cada sesión para que ustedes ingresen y dejen allí sus apreciaciones, sus aportes, de acuerdo a la temática que se esté trabajando en el momento, ¿sí? En la teleclase. Entonces, muy importante. All right? So, for the unit number 1, we will make the writing deconstruction, okay? So, in this case, in this unit, the idea is that you could analyze different structures of the text. And in this way, you could acquire wide knowledge of the area. So the idea in this first unit is that you, as students, students could understand the different writing styles, okay, in an easier form, developing the writing skills. So it is so important. For that reason, in this course, we focus in the writing skills, okay? And in this way, you are going to have the necessary guidelines and relevant aspects that could be useful for you in this process. So in the first unit, the guiding question we have for this first unit is this: how do the different parts of a text make me understand what type is it? So when we have a text, there are different parts and different aspects that I should take into account. So this is the guiding equation or the core equation for the first unit in order that you take it into account. Well, good. Now let's see. In this unit, we have these first 2 activities. The first one, or the first task, is writing a paragraph. So we are going to start with the simple, okay, in short activities, so short characteristics, and we're going to advance for the general aspects of the paragraphs. So in the first one is writing a sentence and writing a paragraph, and the second one is writing an essay and a news report. Okay, so in the teleclasses, we are going to have the opportunity to talk about this and take some advices, okay, for developing this in order to improve the writing skills, okay? So the first one, the first task is writing a sentence and a paragraph, okay? So there in the platform, you will find a file, okay? This file in Word. So you are going to download this file and you will solve the activities or develop the activities that proposed there. So it is important that you submit your task, your activity, taking into account the instructions, okay, that are there. I'm going to stop share my screen, and I would like to share with you the Word file, okay, with the activity. Is this? So please pay special attention to all the instructions here. So as it says, in this section, you are going to plan. In this first activity, you are going to write, revise, and edit descriptive paragraphs. But it is going to be step by step. Okay, so the idea is that you could take the opportunity to develop this activity in the correct order, taking into account the instructions, because we are going to form it step by step. So what is the first you will do? It says first, describe 2 things that improve teaching practice. So you will think about the teaching practice, okay, in your context, in your environment, could be in the place when you work or in your city. And think about these 2 things that could improve this teaching practice. So first, in order to write a descriptive paragraph, you will make a brainstorming, okay? So in this brainstorming, the idea is that you could take into account the teaching practice. How was the teaching practice in the past, okay? And how is the teaching practice nowadays in this moment, okay? So think about the strategies, think about methods, resources, for example, roles of teachers, well, and you will make a brainstorming. Here in this part, it says complete the image with words. When I make a brainstorming, I use words, okay? Simple words. Cuando hago este ejercicio de lluvia de ideas, voy a completar en este espacio, es como una banderita, voy a escribir aquí ideas, una lluvia de ideas relacionadas con el tema de Teaching Practice, ¿ok? Teaching Practice. Entonces, de acuerdo a esto, ustedes van a mirar, van a pensar en primer lugar qué ideas se les ocurre, qué palabras, qué expresiones que estén relacionadas con la práctica docente, ¿ok? Y esas palabras van a ubicar en este espacio. That is the first we will going to do, ¿ok? As I told you, step by step. Así como lo dije en algún momento, en principio, la idea es que construyamos este ejercicio paso a paso, siguiendo las instrucciones. Si bien esta lectiva es relacionada con la escritura y las estrategias de la escritura. Entonces, precisamente por esa razón, vamos a hacer este primer ejercicio, que es escribir una oración, escribir un párrafo, teniendo en cuenta las instrucciones. Importante, por favor, tengan en cuenta que dentro de la plataforma hay un espacio de recursos, ¿sí? Entonces, ustedes pueden ir allí, pueden dirigirse allí en cada una de las unidades y allí van a encontrar recursos de aprendizaje, van a encontrar material complementario, ¿sí? Que les va a permitir ampliar mucho más este tipo de ejercicios que vamos a ir desarrollando. Well, okay, continue with the second part. In this second page, it says complete this chart with your ideas. En esta parte, entonces, vamos a completar este cuadrito. A partir de ese brainstorming que hicimos en la primera parte, van a completar este cuadro con ideas acerca de la práctica docente. Recordemos que nuestro tema para esta actividad es la práctica docente. teaching practices, ¿ok? Entonces, en ese orden de ideas, vamos a revisar, entonces ustedes lo pueden hacer, por ejemplo, en la ciudad donde vivan, cómo fue en el pasado, cómo fue esa práctica, cómo fue ese teaching practice en el pasado, ustedes que recuerdan cómo se hacía ese ejercicio y cómo se hace hoy en día, ¿ok? Entonces ustedes pueden empezar allí a hacer una comparación acerca de cómo se hacían esos procesos en el pasado y en el presente. Para completar este cuadrito, lo van a hacer con ideas, ¿sí? Recuerden que el brainstorming de la primera parte lo hicimos con palabras sueltas relacionadas con el tema. En esta segunda parte, vamos a tratar de enlazar esas palabras generando ideas concretas, ¿sí? Ideas concretas sobre cómo era esa práctica docente en el pasado y cómo es hoy en día para poderlas contrastar más adelante, right? Well, the second part is applying. So the first part was planning. In the second part of the activity, it's applying. So we're going to write about past conditions. So taking into account the previous exercise, you will think about past conditions in the teaching practice, okay? And you thought about that you talked about in the brainstorm notes. So you will write affirmative sentences and negative sentences using past two and used plus two. So according with the information in the chart and in the brainstorming, you will write here two affirmative sentences and two negative sentences. As we are talking about teaching practice in the past, you will write these sentences using the simple past and used to. For example, teachers used to, okay, or teachers didn't used to, and using simple past. That is the idea of this part in apply. Wow. Then we go to the third step. It is the planning step. So follow the steps to make notes for your paragraphs. So we have some resources from the brainstorming, from the chart, and from the sentences. We have an idea for make our paragraph, okay? So in order to create the paragraphs, we will follow these steps, okay? These are 5 steps. The first one is write a name of your teaching practice, okay? You are going to discuss in the chart below. So look at the brainstorming notes, the last one, and choose the most important things that make this topic a better way to do today. So write these 2 things in an outline. Well, the second step, complete the thesis statements in the outline. In the third step, you are going to write the topic's sentence. Which is the sentence about? Look, the sentence. We are talking sentences. So in your topic sentence, use the keywords, okay? And the keywords are in the brainstorming, for example. So look that in the planning step, in order to create the paragraphs, first, we will create sentences, well, and each sentence should be organized and should have these aspects. The first step is write 2 or more examples, okay, or details for the supporting ideas in each body paragraph. So in this part, we are going to have a body or a paragraph, but this paragraph is going to be organized and you are going to think about general information, okay, that you want to explain. And in this part, give the details of it. Well, next, we continue with the fourth aspect. It is make a draft. So after you have planned the paragraph, you will make a first draft. So you will complete this chart with your ideas. So from the planning exercise, you will get some ideas, okay? And those ideas from these steps are going to be planning in this chart. So you will say, okay, in which city are you going to talk about? Which city? You will say 2 things that make it a better teaching practice today. Next, you will make the thesis statement. So the quality of teaching practice is better in, for example, in Cali is better today than it was in the past because something and something, okay? And you will create the paragraphs, the general idea of the paragraphs, and support the paragraph with these ideas. The objective of this activity is that you create 2 paragraphs. Look, you are going to create 2 paragraphs. But the most important is that in each paragraph, you could take into account these aspects, okay? Well, when you have this organization or this order of your ideas, so now you will start writing, okay, the paragraphs and revising it. So using the draft, remember that this is a draft. Hasta el momento lo que hemos armado es un ejercicio previo, un borrador, que nos va a permitir, nos va a servir de insumo para completar ya como tal nuestro escrito. So using that, you will complete this chart and giving, okay, editing all the things that you wrote before. And you will write it here. The paragraphs, you are going to write them in this part, in this section, okay? There is a big section in order that you could write your paragraphs. And now, okay, and not final, the idea is that you could take into account these aspects, okay? So you are going to make a self-evaluation, and I am going to check this activity taking into account these aspects, okay? So it's necessary that you look for this, that you check that the words could be spelled correctly, okay, writing in a good way. Is the first word of every sentence capitalized? Remember that you start a paragraph or a sentence with a capitalized word, okay? Punctuation, it is necessary to take into account. If the subjects and the verbs are according, related with the grammar, if you are using simple past, for example, if in the writing you are using the simple past and the used to in a correct way, okay? Or if you are using other verb tenses, for example, you are comparing with the present. So the idea is that it could be in harmony, okay? So these are aspects that you're going to take into account for this. Okay, my dear students. So it is all we are going to take into account in the first part. Remember, my dears, so the idea is that you could identify these aspects, that you could develop or start developing this activity, the task number 1, from the unit number 1. I hope that we could meet soon in the next Saturday or the next class. And if you have any doubt, if you have any comment, if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the next class, okay? La idea es que nos podamos ver la siguiente sesión. Si ustedes tienen inquietudes, si tienen dudas, por favor, entonces, en la próxima sesión que nos podamos encontrar, lo vamos a socializar. Ya la idea es que ustedes puedan ir revisando la plataforma, puedan ir ingresando a la unidad número 1, mirando cuáles son las actividades que hay allí. Y bueno, en este primer video, el primer pregrabado que acabo de enviarles, la idea pues generalizar en cuanto al respecto de cómo entregar esta primera actividad, cómo avanzar en esta primera actividad. Bueno chicos, entonces gracias, un abrazo para todos, feliz tarde y nos vemos Dios mediante en la próxima sesión.